Here's a theory on BBUU. At the beginning of this year, we were given a clue that said "Find me in summer." Now, we know that this was to hint on PLAVE's Japan debut, but what if it was actually a message? What were we supposed to find? PLAVE had heavily implied their relation to stars multiple times now, so what if they were telling us to find something in the sky? A constellation? During summer? One of the most prominent asterisms in summer is the summer triangle, which is made of 3 bright stars: Vega, Altair, and Deneb. So, what's special about this asterism? Near the summer triangle is the center of the Milky Way galaxy. And the center of the Milky Way galaxy is a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A, which sits in the Sagittarius constellation. Now, the Sagittarius constellation is known for its teapot asterism. So, I think that the message was pointing towards this teapot. And it's actually an invitation to a secret tea party in the sky, just like what the little Plea wrote in her diary, and represented by this picture. So we were supposed to have a tea party with PLAVE during summer. But it didn't happen. Why? Because Caligo attacked them. We saw how quickly they turned Asterum upside down, destroying the life that PLAVE built with Plea's love. And then, they trapped PLAVE in dream loops, where they failed to find each other and escape. And thus, due to the chaos, the tea party was halted. Interestingly, the way that this unfolded is kinda similar to the story behind the Summer Triangle. This story originated from the Chinese mythology. So, basically, Vega and Altair are 2 lovers separated by the Milky Way River. However, once a year, they are allowed to meet on the 7th day of the 7th month via a magpie bridge, which I believe is represented by Deneb. However, if it rains, they cannot meet as the magpie wouldn't be able to ascend to heaven to form a bridge. From this story, we learned that a clear weather is necessary for the meeting to happen. Just like in the 6th summer, where the members weren't able to find each other when it was raining. But when the sky became clear, they were able to cross the bridges and reunite in the music room. Now, the implications of the Caligo attack were way more severe than a heavy rain. We could say that it was a ferocious storm that was difficult to get out of. Asterum was in shambles, PLAVE were trapped in dream loops, and our meeting didn't happen. And this is the point where BBUU picked up the story. As I've discussed previously in BBUU, Plea goes on a dream journey where she saves PLAVE. But at the same time, PLAVE also saves Plea. To understand this, let's look at the story posted on the LMS website. In the novel, the girl protagonist, which I believe is Plea, met 5 fairies, aka Little PLAVE, who gave her a lucky ball along with warm tea, and later, when a mysterious ship from the Netherlands appeared in her room, she took her electric guitar and braved through the storm and restored peace. I think that this story is based on a fairy tale from the Netherlands called The Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman is about a sea captain who was trying to sail home but got caught up in a ferocious storm. In the end, he was cursed to wander the seas forever, but if he manages to find a true love, the curse will be lifted. There are 2 ways to look at this story. The first one is that the cursed captain represents PLAVE because they are both trapped in an endless loop due to the storm. This means that for PLAVE to escape, they need to find their true love, which is Plea. And I think that this verse in BBUU represents this idea. The second way to look at this story is to think from Plea's perspective. The Flying Dutchman is known as a symbol of bad luck. Whoever encounters it is guaranteed a misfortune. This means that when the ship appeared in Plea's room, she was doomed to bad luck or a bad dream. However, her meeting with PLAVE reversed the bad luck and turned what was supposed to be a nightmare into a sweet dream. Now that we understand the gist of it, let's analyze the plot details and how everything unraveled. In the beginning of the music video, PLAVE woke up and discovered that the little Plea is asleep. They decided to fulfill their promise of having the tea party. Since the little Plea loves the space, PLAVE set up a colorful path across the stars which leads to the island, so that she can look around the sky while she's on her way, kinda like a little celestial excursion. Let me explain. When PLAVE arrived at the island, they played instruments together with the Sanrio friends. One of the most important instruments is the trumpet aside from the electric guitar, as it heavily carries a lot of symbolism in this song. For example, the trumpet is a representation of the trumpet flower, which is usually associated with dreams and such. It is also known as a bridge between heaven and earth. So when the fairies were playing the instruments, It was to form the bridge from Terra to the island, which is in the forms of colorful stars. These colorful stars are a type of Japanese sweets called konpeito, and interestingly, it is one of the popular snacks in Tanabata Festival, which is a festival about Vega and Altair. So, just like how the magpie form a bridge for Vega and Altair, the konpeito also form a pathway for Plave and Pli to meet. Thus, Pli followed the path that Plave laid out and attended the tea party. So, does the tea party symbolizes anything? Yes. In fact, the tea party was a necessary meeting that had to happen. It was thanks to the tea party that Pli could save Plave and avoid being trapped in misfortune. This is because the tea party was filled with good luck. For example, the konpeito is a symbol of happiness and good luck. The yummy dessert is to sprinkle lots of sweets into Pli's dream, because Plave are the sweet dream fairies after all. On top of that, kusudama, which is basically a confetti ball and is commonly used as decorations in Tanabata Festival, also symbolizes good health and luck. Now, in the LMS story, there was a mention of a lucky ball. It's possible that the lucky ball refers to the kusudama. Or, it could also be the konpeito since it also has a round base shape. However, I also think that it might be the 8 ball that Bambi had in Kakurenbo. The 8 ball is often associated with luck, chance, and destiny. Whichever it is, the important thing is that it brought good luck to Pli, since she's gonna need it to face the unexpected event that was about to dawn on her. This is because it was after the tea party that the Flying Dutchman ship appeared in front of her. Among all the sightings of the Flying Dutchman over the history, there hasn't been a single soul that survived it. So you could imagine the horrible nightmare that Pli was about to witness. However, along with the lucky ball in her hand, she quickly grabbed her electric guitar and braved through the storm, which I believe represents the storm that is trapping and hindering Plave from meeting each other, just like the rain in the Summer Triangle love story. By using her electric guitar, the little Pli successfully overcame the horrendous storm and avoided from falling into misfortune. Now, the event that was highlighted from this story is the 1 million volt lightning. It was mentioned in both the song and the choreo too. In the story, I believe that a final gigantic bolt of lightning struck from amongst the raging storm before peace was restored, just like this scene in the Sanrio version of Hansel and Gretel. Also, I think that the 1 million volt lightning represents the electrifying feeling of love between Plave and Pli, and it could be that the lucky ball was the catalyst for the lightning. To simplify, the lightning which brought peace to everyone was a result of love between Plave and Pli, or in other words, the power of friendship. In the end, with all the blessings from the sweet dream fairies, Pli didn't just save herself, but also freed Plave from the endless dream loop. And by Plave, I mean the big Plave. The small Plave had always been free to roam, and they were the fairies in the story, while the big Plave are the ones that were trapped. If you notice in the tea party scene, there are 5 empty seats which I think were for the big Plave. However, they were still trapped at this point and we didn't see them until after the tea party, which was at the place with the houses. Now, an interesting thing about this is that just besides the Summer Triangle is a constellation called Cepheus. This constellation has a house asterism, and Cepheus is a neighboring constellation to Cassiopeia, which is basically Plave's home. So I think that the Hansel and Gretel themed house is to signify that Plave has escaped the dream loops and successfully returned to Asterum. And near the end of the music video, we saw them putting their share of the lucky konpeito into a glass, which was then carried by the little Plave where it rains down towards the little Pli. And compared to the beginning, the star glitters that are shining on the little Pli are now full of colors and good luck. I think that this was their way of thanking the little Pli for saving them, because what's a better gift than the sweetest dreams ever, right? One thing that I noticed about Pli's dream route is that it circled back to Plave's route in Way for Love. I've already discussed in full details for Way for Love in other videos, so this is just going to be a quick rundown on it. So, in Way for Love, Plave started at their home constellation Cassiopeia. Then they continued to the waterfall asterism in Camella Pardalis, before heading towards the Eiffel Tower asterism in Ursa Major, or in other words, Terra. Meanwhile, Pli followed the path that Plave prepared for her, which started from Ursa Major, where she went through the double stars to enter the island, kinda like the second star to the right in Peter Pan. Then, due to the sickle here, I think she jumped down to Leo and continued along the ecliptic line towards Sagittarius where the tea party was held. Next, after rescuing PLAVE, PLAVE then continued the route to Cepheus, and lastly back to their home Cassiopeia, where it all started. To add on to this loop concept, the BBUU choreo also integrated this idea. As Hamin explained in the live stream, at the start of the song, Noah picked up a flower signaling the start of the song, and at the end of the song, the same flower reappeared at the same location. Bambi also said that the flower part was an extension from the Y choreo. In Y, when Noah confessed his love by offering the flower, he got rejected. But in BBUU, when Noah confessed his love again, it was accepted. If we think about it, the flower choreo from Y to BBUU relates to both the stories about Vega and Altair and the Flying Dutchman, where it was essentially about wanting to meet their one true love. Vega and Altair were both waiting for each other, while the cursed captain was pursuing his whole life for his one true love. The Sixth Summer and Hide and Seek perfectly visualized these two stories. However, the outcome in both songs were totally different. While they succeeded in the Sixth Summer, they failed in Hide and Seek, and it was due to the absence of an awaiter. So, while pursuing is revolutionary, waiting is as equally important too. And no matter how long it takes, as long as one is pursuing and one is waiting, the meeting will eventually take place. Just like the long-awaited tea party in the sky. Before I end this video, let's revisit the concept of trumpet. One of the reasons why I said trumpet was an important instrument in this song is because it encompasses the whole idea of BBUU. Even from just saying the word BBUU itself, our mouth will make a similar shape when blowing a trumpet. And blowing trumpet is usually associated with victory. Just like how Noah's confession was a resounding success. Other than that, the trumpet is also used to send alert or call attention. So we could also think of it as a signal or invitation for the tea party as well. Thus, BBUU is a celebration towards success, victory, and good luck. Oh, and also, a sweet dream. By the way, do you think that PLAVE flying towards the moon signifies that we will be diving into Noah's story next? Or do you think that the moon is a symbol of something else? Anyway, if you're still watching, thank you for staying till the end.